So many entrepreneurs and coaches and consultants spend too much time speaking to the wrong prospects. You see, I run an agency and we've just broken through 7 figures of revenue. And we've been able to do that based on the fact that we only speak to our ideal prospects. So that means when someone gets in touch, we have a specific system and a process that pre-qualifies them before we give up an hour of our time, before we get on a Zoom call with them. We're able to understand if they are the right fit or the wrong fit before we waste our time. And I wish more people understood that you can do this without needing to give up time in your diary. So I'm going to break down the exact system that we use in order to pre-qualify people so that we only speak to people who are the right fit for us. So a few years ago in our agency, we were running around like headless chickens. We were speaking to every opportunity that came in, every inquiry. We tried to meet them face to face or book a call because we felt the reason that we needed to do that was to speak to more people and get more sales. But in reality, we burnt ourselves out. It affected us physically, emotionally, and we just could not keep up with speaking to every single prospect. So we needed to fix the problem. So the way that we dealt with this is we created a very simple funnel that allowed us to send someone a single email and a single landing page in order for them to pre-qualify and disqualify themselves before we book a call. And here's exactly how it works. Someone sends us an email, they see our content online and they want to work with my agency, and they get in touch and they say, please can I jump on a call with you and talk to you about how we might work together? And at that point, most people would say, oh yes, an opportunity, I'm going to jump on a call with this person. And that's where they fail. What we do is we send them this simple email and it says this: it's great that you want to chat to us. We're really excited about having a conversation. Before we book you a call, I just want you to take this mini assessment, answer a few questions, and we can learn more about you and your business and what it is you're looking to accomplish. After you've answered those questions, we'll be able to book a call in our diary and have a good conversation. When you spend a little bit longer answering the questions, it will make for a much more meaningful conversation. So then, after they've received that, they then go down the assessment, they answer a few questions. Within that funnel, we ask a very specific set of questions that help us understand who they are as a business owner, the size of their business, the potential profit that they have in their business. You can ask questions about revenue, you can ask questions about team size, you can ask questions about next income goals, you can ask questions about their goals and objectives and their pain points. And we collect good information about those prospects before we even waste time on a Zoom call. Now, you will know what your ideal customer looks like. You'll know their current business size, you'll know what their goals are, what their pain points are. So by building a simple questionnaire ahead of a Zoom call, you're able to identify the best and worst prospects before you ever waste time on a Zoom call. The thing that happens before the Zoom call is a gift. So this is really important. So after they've answered the questions, regardless of how they've answered those questions or what information they've provided, you want to provide epic value. And this is where you can actually send them to a thank you page that says, while you wait for the Zoom call, here's some content that will help you understand more about how we work and what we do. This is a bonus that they weren't expecting. They asked for a Zoom call, you've asked them to answer some questions, and before the Zoom call, they've got a great array of content for them to consume ahead of speaking to you. So this does a number of things. You get the information, you get to ask questions, you get to find out more information about them so that you can identify the best prospect and the worst prospects. But in the meantime, they're getting this amazing value. And specifically, you can personalize the content that shows on that thank you page. So for instance, a question we might ask is, do you want more leads? Do you want more sales? Or do you want better clients? And we can actually create a dynamic thank you page that shows them content related to how they answered that question. This does an enormous amount of value and builds trust for you because you're personalizing the content that you give them ahead of the Zoom call. Now, the next thing that you can do is really, really clever. You can actually segment your audience to display a Zoom link relevant to how they answered the questions. So let me explain. Imagine that you want to work with people that have a big team because they have a bigger budget generally. And someone says that they only have one person on their team. On the thank you page, you could send them to a Zoom call that has a link that's only to a 15-minute call. If they answer a question and say there's 2 to 5 people on their team, you could send them to a Zoom link that has a 30-minute call. And if they say we've got, 10 people plus or 50 people plus, then you can send them to a call because they're your ideal client. You can send them to a call link that lasts 60 minutes. So without even speaking to them, you've got people booking in your diary to relevant time slots based on how they answered the questions. Now, the important thing to remember is that when you collect data like this, you're able to look at the people and how they answered the questions ahead of the Zoom call. And it's absolutely okay if you look at those questions and you say, "Hi, I see you've booked an appointment in our diary. Based on how you answered the questions, I don't know if this is going to be right for you," especially if you have asked things like budget. So if you said, "Oh, what's your budget?" and you said, "I've got less than £500 a month to spend," but your products start at £5,000 a month, then there's absolutely no point in you speaking to that prospect. That's why this questionnaire is so important. You get to provide value even if you don't have time to give to that prospect. So this is why it's been so simple for us to generate lots of high quality clients through this mini funnel, and all they do is thank you for it. So whether you work with them or not, whether you cancel people out of your diary or not, you're able to attract only the best prospects the same way that we do without speaking to everybody one-to-one. It's very, very important that you protect your time as a business owner. If you want to grow, if you want to scale, you cannot be speaking to anyone and everyone who requests a call. Now, obviously, we needed a system in order to make this possible. So what we did is we created an account with ScoreApp and we built this out using one of their templates. It's already built. You can just use this exact template when people want to book one-to-one calls with you so that you can pre-qualify them and deliver value at the same time. So check it out at scoreapp.com. I'll leave a link to the template below, and you can set up your free account and give it a go. Since we implemented this strategy, we've been able to go from 6 to 7 figures in a relatively short space of time. And if you want to find out more information about exactly how we did that, I'm running an upcoming webinar very soon where I'll break down the exact step-by-step framework so that you can implement it in your business. So click the link in the description, register for my upcoming webinar, and I'll give you the exact steps, and we've got a little bit of time at the end for Q&A so you can ask me questions related to you and your business. If you found this video useful, click the like, click subscribe. Let me know in the comments below, what have you tried that's helped you attract more of your ideal clients?